for this journey. And as always, I'm joined by my absolutely wonderful cast of players who in a moment will go around and introduce them all. But first and foremost, some thank yous and shout outs. So first of all, thank you to this wonderful community. Thank you all for being patient with us as we kind of took a break for the holidays. But we are all super excited to be back. Hope everybody got some rest and relaxation in. And of course, I want to thank the Initiative Order creative team, Danny, Bree, Jay, and April, who helped make all these shows come together. So thank you all so much. And of course, we have our wonderful sponsors of the channel, starting off with Session Zero Clothing. Session Zero, they make some really cool TTRPG inspired streetwear. And if you use code ORDER at checkout, you'll get 15% off your purchase through them. Our next sponsor is Norse Foundry, the master dice craftsmen themselves. They make beautiful gemstone dice, metal dice, various TTRPG accessories as well. If you use code TIO, followed by the number 15, you'll get 15% off your purchase through them. And our third sponsor, we have Roaming Player Gear, created by our very own GOT DM, Mr. Ray, who has created this really cool dice vault, dice tower system. It's all magnetic, really nice wood. It's got like some leather bounding to it. Really cool. If you go to his website and use code Carnaby20 at checkout, you can get 20% off that dice tower. And of course, we also have our friends over at Mithril Armory, who, surprise, they make TTRPG stuff too. They got really cool dice. They're the ones that make the really awesome 1020s, as well as the sketch dice. If you use code INITIATIVE at checkout with them, you'll get 10% off your purchase through their website. And of course, I do want to mention that we are also proud ambassadors for Jaspers Game Day. Jaspers Game Day, they bring suicide awareness and prevention through TTRPGs and gaming. So check them out, support them if you can. They're a great organization. And last thing I want to mention is we do have a coffee set up for this wonderful cast and crew here. So if you donate down to the coffee down in the chat below, if you feel like tipping these lovely individuals, all funds donated to that coffee go directly to these fine people here in front of us. With that, let's go ahead and go around the table. Let's start off with Kelsey, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey on social media. I'm Tombs and Tomes, and you can always find me if you want to make new friends or you want to see books and tabletop role-playing things.
Awesome. Let's throw it over to Christine, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Christine, and you can find me here on the Initiative Order doing various games, and you can find me over on twitch.tv/slumberjane or on Instagram at slumber.jane.
Perfect. Let's go over to Coral, please.
Hello, friends. My name's Coral Reefer. You can find me at twitch.tv/queerventuretime or on Twitter at QVenturetime, because Queer Venture Time is what?
Not enough characters. Too many. I'll get
Too many characters. So close.
Next time.
Yeah, both places we've got wholesome vibes with unwholesome conversations.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, our resident goblin, Lee Royal.
Hello, everyone. It is the Royal on all social media at Royalty No Y, and primarily I will be on Instagram and Twitter. I've really been digging the Twitter scene. I'm feeling the benefits of being on Twitter in general when it comes to being a cosplayer. So if you want to see some cool Spider-Man photos or whatever I'm working on, the latest in progress is Black Panther. Check me out over there. I am also a streamer here on Twitch occasionally, and from time to time I put stuff up on TikTok, so you can check me out there too.
Awesome. And we are unfortunately missing our fifth party member this evening. Keith, you can find him on social media at I am not Kevin Bacon. He's a wonderful dude. Another Twitch streamer, does a lot with
Extra Life.
Extra Life. Thank you very much. Extra Life, raising funds there to help children in need. So check him out. Super great dude. And with that, let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro video. We'll see you all back here in just a moment. And welcome back, everybody. So, as always, I like to start my games off by hearing my player's perspective on what happened last time. I'm just going to go ahead and assume we're going to jump over to our resident note taker.
Yeah, I was going to say, by players, you mean Kelsey, right?
So, Kian, why don't you go ahead and fill us in on what you remember from our last game?
All right. So last time on Symbaroum, our adventurers learned a lot of information. At the very beginning, Laerke was able to investigate the body of Anadia, the woman who had originally hired us to investigate the sinkhole that we ended up being in. And we found a note on her body that was written by an elf that we haven't been able to decipher yet. And then after that, we went to the Sun Temple to try and talk to the Templars that one of our party members had been able to make friends with. Now, they didn't reveal too much to us, but we did learn that they don't trust the Black Cloaks in town, although they did tell us there are good Black Cloaks out there. It's just that this particular sect of Black Cloaks are very, very extreme, and that's something that they're very worried about. Then we were all able to reunite as a party, and at that time, an older Ambrian woman had actually asked for us to come and meet her in the temple. She is higher up in the Temple of the Sun. Her name was Deceba, and she gave us some more information. She wanted us to learn more about Sarvola and talk to him. He is a man in town who has different ideas for the church. He hopes to do less extreme practices and have the church working for the people, rather than having the people be afraid of the church. She is behind that message and thinks that maybe we can find a way to bridge that gap. So we thought it was a good idea. And then we spoke to her about the Black Cloaks and discovered that Balmello, personally my least favorite person in the entire campaign, has been dead this whole time, and that there might be a changeling who is impersonating him and the other Black Cloak order that is in this town. So that was very, very troubling. Big game changer. And then we went to interview someone named Orai, who was in the dungeons of the Temple of the Sun. And he told us about working for some kind of group of people and killing a god that was found deep in the woods. Something about the heart of Davokar, things that people should not be doing in general. And we learned about the Eternal Knight, which is a heretic group. That's probably who's impersonating Balmello and the Black Cloaks and might be related to the situation that we talked to Arai about. And then we decided to go and visit Sarvola, and we messed everything up. We made no progress at all. And now we're going to fight some guys. So.
Yes, excellent. And it was kind of during this time, too, your goblin companion, Nrobso, had been pulled off for a separate task. Nrobso, is there anything you would like to add about your time away from the group?
Oh yeah. So while I was away, I was tasked by the leader of the goblin race in Kravadox to help mend a wall in a tower. And upon going over there was something that crucially happened. There was an ice lady that came out, amongst other things that interrupted the reconstruction, and we basically had to protect these stones that this ice lady wanted. She didn't really say what would happen if she reclaimed them, just that she wanted to rest. But we didn't really trust her intentions because we knew that the stones were corrupted. And after giving the task of protecting them, we kind of just decided to try to take this lady out, in which 3 of the party members were actually paralyzed. I was one of them. And when this lady was eventually destroyed, the paralysis lifted and we were able to regain our movement in our body. The stones were sent off to the Order of Magica for examination and more protection. And Nrobso, with his sticky fingers, decided to rummage through the remains of the Ice Lady in hopes to find something of value. And he found the sapphire, which was corrupted, gaining 1 point of corruption for our poor goblin friend. And after all of the fighting was done, we tended back to the reconstruction of the tower. And once that job was finished, Nrobso headed back to the Sun Temple.
Excellent. So, at this time, Nrobso, you find yourself outside of the Sun Temple. Looking about, your companions are nowhere to be found. Cranko at this point has also disappeared from the area. Any actions from you as you're standing out in this area?
Well, while I'm there, I'm dusting off construction, just dirt and grime and wood chips. I'm just like patting myself off. I haven't showered, I haven't bathed. I just came directly back. That was my goal, to finish the construction, and I came back. So I'm just is there anyone that looks familiar? Is there anyone that I spot that could help me find my companions?
Give me a vigilance check as you're looking around here, if you would.
8 for 12.
8 for 12, excellent. So looking about, you see various priests and Templars kind of passing through as they're entering and exiting the temple. As you're kind of looking up towards the entrance, you do see Father Elfino, who's kind of just appears to have stepped out of the entryway and is just kind of hanging out by one of the entryway pillars here, just kind of on the outside, just kind of leaning up against it. Almost looks like he's just trying to get away from everything for a minute and just have a moment to himself. Aside from him, you just see a bunch of other random individuals who you can assume are probably part of the church here.
Nope. Oh, excuse me, you on the wall. I believe we have met previously, and I was wondering, have you seen any of my companions, for I wish to rejoin them?
Oh, yes, you're the goblin with the troublesome bunch, yes?
Well, troublesome is more of an opinion than a fact. But yes, I am a part of this group, which trouble seems to follow.
Indeed it does. Your friends had a conference with Lady Dezeba. To be honest, I'm not entirely certain where she sent them off to.
Oh. Well, perhaps you can point me in the direction of this lady.
I mean, I could certainly escort you to her chambers if you'd like.
That would be great.
Okay. So, Father Elfino enters back into the temple. You follow?
Yeah, I follow.
Okay, perfect. So the two of you heading up the staircase to the left-hand side. Back over on the other side of town, outside the mission house, we have our group who was trying to cut their way in line past all these sick and needy individuals. Aggie, I believe you took some time to help heal up some of the minor injuries that were on some of these people who were in line, thus shortening it a little bit, but not making a whole heck of a lot of progress there. And as you're kind of all standing out here, you all heard coming from one of the alleyways, "Burn the heretic house down." And as you looked over, you saw 4 individuals, each of them kind of producing daggers out of their cloaks. Everybody over in that area, if you could all please make me a vigilance check as well.
Four out of 7.
4 out of 7, okay.
12 out of 10.
Oof.
6 out of 11.
6 out of 11, okay. So Laerke, unfortunately, from where you're at, you're kind of in one of the more crowded parts of the line. You kind of feel people kind of like bumping into you and stepping on your boots, and you're kind of getting a little distracted by that. However, Aggie and Keen, as you're kind of looking towards these individuals, they're kind of in the central alleyway. Off to the right-hand side, about 2 alleys down, you begin to see this faint, like orange glowing light coming out of one of the alleyways, a little bit farther down to the right.
So I'm technically in Laerke's arms. May I please whisper this to Laerke?
You are being carried by Laerke, so yes, absolutely.
That's why I couldn't see anything.
Hey. Laerke. Do you see that? I'm still trying to act really sick.
What?
That light, the light.
What? I'm gonna turn my head towards the direction that she is indicating.
Okay. And yeah, you turn in that direction. You see this faint glowing orange light that appears to be getting slightly brighter the longer you stare at it.
Mm.
Aggie's just going to take a big sigh, and she's going to say to the people who that she has helped, who are like good to go, because she was doing the basic, like, somebody just needs some basic stitches, right? Like all of that stuff. So yeah, she's just gonna tell those people to run along, and be like, I don't know, she'll say whatever this era's words of pay it forward are. That concept. Yeah, then she's going to look at Laerke and Kesley. Sorry, your name hasn't changed. I just read. Wow. It's been a while. Laerke and
Keen.
Keen.
Got this.
Jesus.
Got this.
It's been a month, friends. It's been a month since we played.
Keen lasagna. Remember? We all remember that.
Lasagna, yeah.
Yes. I literally just read. I was like, yes. Anyways, look at them, and yeah, specifically at Laerke, she's going to get out a little bottle and say, do you think we'll need this, or is there any way we can avoid making even more of a scene right now?
Well, once the blood gets pumping, I'd say you probably should use that, and I'll go ahead and carry her to where we need to go. Maybe we can keep it contained, and then
so head them off. All right, and yeah. Aggie's not the well, she is the strategist. But if the fighter's ready to go, we'll go. And on the walk, if I give a nod, do you give a nod back?
Yes.
Hello?
Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me?
Yes. Wow, I'm doing great today. Internet is also having a moment. I can't remember anybody's names. Wow, good morning.
I nod.
Great, awesome, stunning. Yeah, and then we'll start heading off, and Aggie will stand behind Laerke, and I assume your blade is like somewhat exposed.
Yeah, you can put it on either the picks on my back, the claws on my side, and yeah, I'm just gonna grab her, run forward towards the alley into it. Yeah, and if there's anybody in the way, here we come.
Oh yeah. You still have a massive line of hundreds of individuals lined outside this mission house, and you're.
No, we're at the end of the line. So we should have been able to just run.
Move in ever so slightly. So there's a few people behind you, but you're charging out towards the alleyways though.
I'm going towards the light, the source of light.
The source of
and
light.
that's away from the line, right?
Correct. Yeah. So if you're looking at the line, you're running kind of off to the right and then down a little ways. Okay, perfect.
Sweet.
So you begin taking off that direction. The crowd of individuals, they all kind of like see what's going on. They see the other individuals with their daggers out, and a lot of them begin to kind of just panic and begin shoving through each other and trying to shove their way up into the house itself. While you see other people who are up at the house trying to shut the double front doors to try to keep everybody else out. And as you begin to make your way down towards the alleyway that is glowing, you begin to hear footsteps. Lots and lots of footsteps. And the glowing light begins to get brighter and brighter as you see more individuals dressed in those same blue cloaks as the other two. Each of these individuals carrying these large oil lanterns that are currently lit. And you see them just running one after another towards the house.
That's who we need to stop first.
May I please bend will on whoever is in front?
You may certainly try.
All right, so bend will is resolute versus resolute.
Resolute versus resolute? Okay, perfect. So with this one, you will go ahead and give me a resolute check, and this one is going to have a...
So I got an 8 out of 15, but I know it's probably just against his resolute.
Correct. So you have an 8 out of 15. So this will have a -5 penalty to it because these guys are not very versed in magic. So that now brings your... No, I apologize. I'm doing that backwards. So what is your resolute score? The attribute itself?
My attribute itself is 15.
15. Okay, so you'll have a -5. So that comes down to a 10, but you still succeed with that 8, though. So you're good. So yeah, the first one is running towards the house carrying this large oil lantern. What does it look like as you're trying to bend as well?
Okay, so I look like this old man who has pretty much the plague, and I'm kind of just holding on to Laerke, and I kind of just am looking around a little bit, and I take a little crystal out of my pocket and I whisper something into it, and he hears it almost in his head, but it's his own voice in his head. And it's telling him, these people can't be trusted behind him because I'm going to make him basically attack them.
Interesting. Okay. And as he's running, Laerke and Aggie, this individual kind of begin to approach you. You see his steps begin to kind of slow down as he stops for a moment. And you see him just kind of look around like he's hearing something, but you just hear the screams and panic of everybody else. And he just kind of stops and completely turns facing the alleyway now. And he kind of raises his lantern up over his head. Back over at the Sun Temple, Nrobso, making your way up the marble staircase up to the chambers. You see the large double door. Father Elfino knocks on it, and you hear a woman's voice. It just simply says, "Enter." And the doors swing open. Inside, you see a nice little sitting area with a large coffee table. On the opposite side is this very large desk with this beautiful ornate cushioned chair sitting behind it. And sat on the chair is just this very small in stature, elderly Ambrian woman who's just kind of sitting there. Looks like she's looking over some parchment on her desk, and she kind of looks up and sees you.
Hello.
Hello. You are?
I am the great and mighty Nrobso, and I was wondering, have you seen maybe a few companions of mine? One's name is Agithe, there's Kinlegelana, there's Laerke, and there's also the wise Kovaan.
Oh, yes. They're out running, I guess you'd call it an errand for me.
Wait, they're running an errand?
Is
there perhaps a pay involved in this errand?
There was a condition that was agreed upon.
A condition? I told my friends to only accept valor if we are to run errands.
I believe this payment will be quite valuable to all of you.
Then in which case, I would like to find a way to join them if you could just please point me in the right direction so that I may contribute to the completion of this task.
Yes, I she kind of looks towards Elfino, and she just kind of gestures for him to step out of the room. And he just kind of lets out this very heavy audible sigh as he turns around and exits out of the room. And you can hear his footsteps as they go down the hallway before disappearing off in the distance. I've sent them to speak to Sarvola at the mission house. You can find it on the south side of town.
On the south side of town? All right, I will make haste. Before I go, I would like to ask you for a few things. One, what was your name again?
Decima.
Decima. Two, would you happen to have the skills and knowledge available to perhaps get rid of, let's say, a incy tiny bit of corruption?
Me personally, I do not have such knowledge, but I may be able to use my connections to find somebody who does.
That would be a wonderful thing to receive. I have an errand boy of my own named Cranko. He's a nice goblin of my own time. Should you have any information regarding this connection, or if you even have it now, I'll be glad to take it. Maybe I'll write it down for later.
This connection, unfortunately, wouldn't be here in this hold.
No. And exactly where would they reside?
In Daros.
Daros. Seems a bit out of the way, but also equally a place that we would have to go to anyways. And lastly, before I make my departure, do you perhaps have a horse or a small pony that I could use so that I may catch up with my friends quickly?
Well, what your friends are doing is quite important work, so I suppose we could find something for you. Let's head down to the stables outside. Tell them I okayed it.
You have my thanks.
And then I kind of like eyeball the room to see if there's anything I can swipe. Is there anything? 412.
412K. I mean, upon her desk, she's got, you see up on the right-hand corner of her desk is some kind of small pouch. You can't quite make out what's inside of it. Down in the sitting area on the coffee table, there's this really beautiful glassware set. Looks like it could be made out of some kind of like high-quality crystal. Those are the two biggest things that catch your eye.
Nothing of interest right now.
And I leave.
Okay. Taking off back downstairs. Anything else you want to do in the Sun Temple, or just heading straight for the stables?
Straight to the stables.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way over there. And as you're walking in that direction, you do see there's one horse that is currently tied up. And this horse is freaking massive. I mean, compared to you, it's probably like 3 times your height. And its muscles are just ripped. It looks like its skin is barely holding this thing together. It's got this beautiful, just long black mane that's been braided into a couple different tails. Same with the tail itself hanging off is by this just beautiful braid with like these silver bands holding it together. And that is what you currently see.
I reach in my pack to see if I have any type of food, and I want to give it some food.
Okay, you approach and one of the stable hands just, I'm sorry. Can I help you?
Apologies. I was so distracted by this massive horse that I didn't realize you were also standing here. You see, Lady Decima has given me approval to utilize this great horse. There's something of super importance. I can't even tell you what it is.
She said this horse specifically.
She says this horse specifically.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh, 2 of 5.
Oh, damn.
Yep, this one. This is the one.
I mean, like, I really don't have time for this. If Lady Decibel okayed it, then I guess the horse is yours. Just be
You
careful.
know what? I'm feeling quite generous, and for your faith in me, Lady Decibel, here is $10.
And I just throw out some money. To catch up with everybody else, Nrobso is balling right now. He got paid for that job.
He did. Thank you.
Yeah, he sure as hell is. 10 Thaler?
Well, see, he knows that someone's about to lose their job. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, a 10 Thaler for that job? Does that dude even make a Thaler a week?
For a stable hand, he probably doesn't make much more than a couple shillings.
I'm like, Nate, here, please improvise an entire economic system.
Thank you so much for your generosity. Would you look at that? It's time for my break. And he just walks away and begins walking away from the Sun Temple.
I shall call you the names of which I have. You will be Canon.
And I like grab these stirrups and like climb up, and I'm standing on the back, by the way, and I got the reins
To the south.
and I just like give it one good little rip.
And the horse just kind of stands there and just kind of stomps its right hoof. and it kind of jerks around to like just try to look at you.
And I take out my tiny dagger and I at the ear, the very tip of the ear, and I go,
I said to the south.
and I very gently graze the top of the ear.
Give me a cunning check for this one here.
Oh, 8 for 7.
Okay. As you kind of graze the ear, this horse just freaks the fuck out and begins bucking and kicking, and it just launches you off its back and just kind of collide down into the mud.
I get back up. I fling this mud off, and then I offer my hand in like a respectful way, so that the horse can kind of like be reacquainted, and I want to pet it at its face. So my tiny little goblin hand is just raising up. I put on the Puss in Boot eyes, just super kind now.
Okay, go ahead and let's go ahead and give me one more cunning check here.
12 for 7.
The horse kind of just sniffs your hand a little bit and like just kind of bites down towards it. Just not like a full-on threatening bite, but just like a warning, like back off.
You seem to be more aggressive and need to be tamed by this goblin.
So I look around to see if I can find like things that this horse would like particularly, whether it's hay or more feed. Is any of that nearby?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a couple bags of feed just sitting nearby.
Then I grab 2 and I throw them over my shoulder, and I climb back up again. And then I want to sling the feed, kind of like rope it around its mouth so that it's now linked onto this horse, giving it some like a whole bunch of food.
Okay. Give me an accurate check to see how close you can get this feed to this horse's mouth here.
5 for 14.
Perfect. Yeah, you aim, and the feet land spot on right in front of this horse, and it just starts devouring away.
Now, if you would be so kind, now that I have fed you, please, to the south.
And the horse kind of just turns its head towards you once again, trying to make eye contact with you before facing back. And it bucks up on its hind legs and then just takes off running through town with you on its back.
So I'm holding on pretty tight and just like I'm still standing and just doing this little skip thing as it's going.
Perfect. You are now on a frickin' horse, jamming your way through Thistlehold. Back over.
Can I just say that I absolutely loved that side quest? Like, God, it was such a good change of pace from what we are about to get into.
All right, back over. Keen, you have stopped this individual who is holding this oil lantern above his head. Laerke, your blades are now oiled up. So with that, let's go ahead and get everybody's initiative. So what are your quick score, please?
I can. Oh, yeah, go for it.
And just as a review, we just give you our quick score. We don't roll for it, right?
Correct. Yep. Whatever your quick score is, that is
9.
your initiative. 9 for you.
9.
13.
I will actually give you my cunning score, which is a 15.
Beautiful. Okay.
Because I don't want you to use my quick.
That's totally fair. Okay. So as we begin, Aggie, you are up first here in the order. So you see this one individual holding this oil lantern above his head. You just oiled up Laerke's blades. You have 2 individuals kind of up the street with daggers out, and you've got more individuals pouring out of that alleyway, all of them carrying these large oil lanterns. What would you like to do?
Okay, can I do some real Skyrim shit right now?
What are we thinking?
I want to try to break one of the oil lanterns. So it, like, best case scenario, it explodes and does a whole bunch of fire damage. Worst case scenario, it's a damn good distraction and startles the dudes at the jump.
Okay. So you've got a bunch of them pouring out of this alleyway. From what you can see probably about 3 of them or so that are coming out of the alleyway. You have the one that's a little bit ahead of them holding his lantern up in the air. What are you aiming for? If that's the only lantern, is that the only lantern I can see? Oh, no, the 3 that are pouring out, you can see their lanterns as well.
Okay. And I know that Keen was doing some magic-y mumbo jumbo. Maybe not exactly what I may not know exactly what she was doing, right?
You saw her whispering something to her crystal, and this dude stopped. So you can imagine you're smart enough to see that there's something going on there.
Beautiful. Great. Going for one of the other ones then. Either of them work, and I am going to pull out my dagger, and I'm going to try to throw it.
Okay. Lanterns?
Yeah, throw it at the lantern.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and need an accurate roll for this. I believe you have to use your cunning.
Yeah, thankfully I've leveled up tactician all the way, which
now I will say you will have a -3 to your base ability because you're aiming for such a smaller target. But go ahead.
That is okay. I rolled an 8 out of 15 or out of 12 with the minus.
Okay. Pulling out your dagger, throwing it, it goes flying through the air, spinning perfectly, piercing into this oil lantern. And the glass shatters in this guy's hand as this oil just begins draining out of it, and it quickly ignites.
Oh, fuck.
You see his cloak catch on fire as he begins screaming in pain, knocking back into his two companions, who in turn light on fire, dropping their lanterns. And you just see this massive fire begin to spread down this alleyway as you're just hearing lanterns shatter left and right in this alleyway. And you see that the fire has now begun to spread onto the buildings on either side of this alleyway.
Oh no, that wasn't the intention! Oh!
So, you've got screams of pain coming from this alleyway.
Fuck!
Individuals at the mission house, they all begin just scattering, trying to get the hell away from this area, this large fire that's now beginning to spread on these wooden buildings that are completely around this area.
No! No!
The two individuals with the daggers, they see this, they drop their weapons, and they just begin running away from this area. With that,
Well,
Laerke, here we
friends,
go.
I solved one problem and created a much bigger one.
You've got two buildings that are currently on fire around this alleyway here. What would you like to do?
I drop Keen. And run to the closest, whichever building is just starting to catch on fire. And I'm going to try, I'm going to open the door and try to start evacuating. I don't know what, I'm Laerke is panicking. Gonna try to start evacuating people out of the
Okay, so you run over to the first building, and as soon as you reach for the door handle, it flies open, and you see this Ambrian man carrying his child as he's just running out of this building.
I'll ask him really fast. Is there anyone else inside?
I think my wife was upstairs.
Okay, I'll head in.
Going inside, okay. Excellent. So that'll be your movement to get up there. Keen, anything from you at this time?
I'm assuming the guy that I originally had bent the will of was on fire, running away.
Oh yeah. He's
Great.
panicking, just flailing his arms out in the middle before kind of collapsing to his knees in just this burning heap on the ground.
Great. Well, I'm gonna shape change back.
Okay.
And I'm looking fervently around. Can I see if I spot any large source of water? Like maybe there's a water mill close by or something?
Give me a vigilance check if you would.
A nat 1.
Nat 1. Excellent. So looking about, you don't see any large water sources, unfortunately, but you do see probably about 10 or so like horse troughs that are filled with water currently.
How heavy do these troughs look?
I mean, they're pretty heavy.
I see. So I'm just gonna start shouting, Laerke! Laerke!
All right.
There's water, Laerke!
I'm saving a woman right now. Can you figure it out, Keen?
Is there any way I can figure out how to get this water?
Get a bucket as I run up the
What do you have on you? What do you want?
If I shape change into a big burly man, does that do anything for me?
You look like a big burly man.
It'll do something for me, I'll tell you.
No, my score would be the same though. It wouldn't do anything for me.
Correct.
Okay, great. I don't mind making another check for this. Can I look to see if there's anything on hand that I can use, like to try and get either the trials up, if there's something available?
I will say with your nat one, you do see a couple of wooden buckets that you could use to kind of scoop up water if you want to.
Okay, I'm gonna double fist buckets. So I'm gonna start running with them. Is Sarvola's house on fire?
It is not on fire. It just appears to be the two buildings that were on either side of the alleyway. The mission house itself is probably still a good 30 to 50 feet away from the alley itself here.
All right, gonna do my best.
Okay, taking some water and you're running over and just chucking it
to
on
do
these
anything.
flames here. Nrobso, as you are on the back of this giant ass majestic horse, riding as quickly as you can, give me a vigilance check if you would.
Oh, 14 for 12.
14 for 12. Okay. I will give you a +3 to this, to your base roll, just because of what's happening. It's fairly difficult to miss. So as you're riding your horse down to the south, you just hear kind of this large explosion, and you see all of a sudden this bright orange glow coming from towards the southern side of town, and you hear people just running and screaming away from that direction.
Now, this is the direction away from everyone else.
No, you're heading towards the direction of the mission house. This is exactly where you're the direction you're wanting to go. So do you want to head directly forward, or do you want to try to see if there's anything else that you can find?
I still go forward. I don't have a full clue of exactly what's happening. I just know there's chaos, so I'm still going forward.
Okay, perfect.
But do I recognize this big orange light thing? Is there anything significant I need to be aware of about it?
As you're approaching it, you can see that the light is emanating from two buildings that are currently engulfed in flames.
And I'm still, that's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going.
All right. So yeah, you charge through on your horse, turning the corner, and what you see is Aggie with her jaw just kind of like slightly open. She's looking at this chaos she just caused. You see Laerke just running into one of the buildings. You see Keen taking these little wooden buckets and just scooping water out of them.
Wow.
And throwing water onto these flames.
The way you describe this, it's literally like that fucking clip from Community. It's literally.
Is
You
literally
leap for a few hours.
Is literally anyone else helping or doing anything, or is it just us
Nrobso
three?
is Donald Glover.
Most of the individuals, I mean, they're sick and needy. They're weak. They're seeing the shit. They're like, I can't deal. I will say, you do see a couple younger Ambrian men who do come over with another bucket, and they kind of begin scooping water, seeing what Keen's doing, trying to put out the other building that's currently on fire. Unfortunately, not a lot of progress being made as you're throwing just buckets of water onto this burning alleyway.
Yeah, especially not throwing buckets of water onto an oil fire.
But Laerke, go ahead and give me a vigilance check, if you would, as you're inside this burning building here.
Uh, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, okay. So as you're in here, down on the first floor, the smoke is definitely getting thicker. It's getting a bit more difficult to breathe and see, but you do hear what sounds like movement and coughing coming from upstairs.
I'm gonna head upstairs to see if I can help whoever's up there get out of the building.
Okay, perfect. So you make your way up to the second story, and you kind of come into this small little bedroom area. It looks like that is just currently just filling with smoke very, very quickly. And you do see a young Ambrian woman who's kind of crawling around on the ground. Looking at her, you can see she appears to be fairly disoriented. She's just coughing and gasping for air at this time. She's probably about 20 or so feet away from where you're currently at.
Are there any windows up here?
Yes, there is one glass window that has been shattered from the heat.
Okay. Would I know? I know you said there was more smoke gathering downstairs. Is it fire also? That's kind of like, or is it really just smoke at the moment?
At this point, it's just smoke up here. But you can tell that back downstairs out in the alleyway, the fire is spreading very, very quickly.
Okay.
So you imagine that this whole building will be engulfed fairly soon. So.
Okay. I'm gonna run over to her and try to pick her up, and then try to head back down the stairs.
Okay. Perfect. Easy enough. Actually, go ahead and give me a strong check for this one.
3 out of 15. Yeah.
3 out of 15. Okay, perfect. Yeah, easy enough. You run over, scooping her up, getting her down the stairs, and back outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, out the door.
Perfect.
If I'm still able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy enough. All right. And as this is all happening, you all see Kovaan as well.
Could have just had a combat.
As
Could have just had a combat.
Kovaan kind of begins shuffling over towards the water troughs, and you see him kind of whispering some words underneath his breath. Keen, you recognize it as his as a barbarian tongue that he's speaking, and you see that underneath the troughs, these large, thick vines begin growing and kind of lifting the troughs up. And he kind of begins using his vines to try to begin just kind of launching the troughs towards the building, getting the water as close as he can to it. Actions from the rest of you at this time.
I'm on escort duty, so if there's anyone that isn't able to walk away from the flames quick enough, I'm gonna use cannon to kind of go over there, hopefully scoop them up onto the horse and get them as far away as possible.
Oh yeah, easy enough to do. So you begin just kind of loading people up and booking them out as quick as you can.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Keen and Aggie, anything from the two of you?
So there's one house that Laerke wasn't in, right?
Correct.
I'll try to call into it and be like, "Is anyone there?"
Give me a vigilance check if you would.
Okay, that is a 14 out of 7.
You call out and you wait a couple moments. You don't hear anything though.
Well, I don't seem to hear anything.
Aggie, anything for you at this time?
Yeah, as soon as Aggie gets over the shock and the oh fuck, what have I done? Yeah, she's going to go as quickly as possible. However, she is old. She's not as slow as Kovaan, but she's not spry. And yeah, she's gonna go over to the closest house that isn't already being attended to, open up the door, holler in, and see if there's a response. And also the ground. What is the ground? Are the streets like paved with stone, or is it like dirt?
It's like cobblestones have been pressed down into dirt, so there's some areas where the stones are packed more tightly. This area, though, kind of being in more of the it appears to be like a less maintained part of the city. So there's definitely some larger patches of dirt between the stones themselves, and you can see there's patches of grass that have kind of begun to grow through these areas.
Okay. And then okay, it's lesser maintained, so there wouldn't be any like, I'm trying to smother the fire, right? Trying to find things, if there's like any gardens nearby, anything with like looser soil. Otherwise, Aggie's just gonna try and kick up as much dust and shit as she can to try to, take out the flame, but that's not really going to do much. But she's going to, yeah.
Give me a cunning check here to see how well your knowledge of soil can help you out here.
Yeah, my cunning, which by the way, my 15 cunning that allows her to throw her things with such accuracy because she's that smart, but yet she could not have the foresight that, that's a 9 out of 15.
Okay. You do find some soil that I mean, as you pick it up, it's fairly thick and slightly moist. You might be able to do something with it if you begin tossing it onto the flames if you want to try.
Yeah. Yeah, and as she's doing that, Aggie's just like hollering into a building. Like, hello!
Give me a vigilance check if you would.
A vigilant, you said? Oh, fuck. We're leaving so many dead people in these buildings. That's a 12 out of 11.
Yeah, you unfortunately, at this point, all you hear are just people coughing and yelling as the roar of the flames begins to get louder and louder down in this area. However, I will say that at this point, too, you all begin to hear what sounds like alarm bells going off, coming from the direction of what sounds like the town guard camp. And you begin to hear what sounds like just a whole barrage of footsteps coming your direction. Looking down the street, you see probably about 20 or so town guard, all running over, each of them carrying like these super thick blankets. They even have a cart with them that's got what appears to just be a bunch of buckets filled with water on as well. As they come running through, kind of pushing people out of the way, heading into the alley, and they begin just trying to smother this fire as much as they can. Any action? Yeah.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any witnesses?
Us.
I mean, besides the entire line of people that was standing there.
I mean, but that's the thing. That because we were trying to go head them off at the alley so that those people wouldn't have to be in the thick of it, right? And
I think the question here is, did they see the bad guys running with the fire at the buildings, and did they see us attempt to stop that from happening?
Until you speak to them, you don't know what they witnessed.
Oh, fuck.
So it takes a good 15 to 20 or so minutes as they're kind of just putting these flames out. On the building opposite, the one that Laerke didn't go into, as the fire's spreading through, you see one of the windows on the second story smash out as an individual just jumps out of the second story, landing down onto the ground. You can see his legs definitely give way underneath him as he lands. And Aggie, you can tell immediately
that's something I can help with, though. I can do something about that. Yeah.
So he's definitely laying there on the ground. Both of his legs, you can imagine, are probably pretty fucked up from that fall, as he just kind of crawl away from this burning building. Looking around, he sees people. He's just, help, please, my son's in there, please. But at this point, the fire's continuing to spread through the building. Laerke, are you going to try to run in?
Fuck it, yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna run in.
Is there any way, is there any fucking, like, movie scene as Laerke charges in, there just happens to be a bucket of water that Aggie can throw on to Laerke as Laerke charges?
Is Kovaan still like wrangling those troughs? Can you like rain on me?
Rain
He'll definitely I'm gonna at least try to follow Laerke. I will have my little buckets.
Look, Nate, after I've destroyed so much, you gotta let me have just a little bit. I need to save myself.
Laerke, as you're charging through, if you want to scream, dump some water on me, you certainly can.
You are mooted.
Oh shit! I don't want to waste the time. I think that she's just
Charging through.
barreling in. It's a time thing. I don't have enough time to do that with smoke.
Give me a quick check. You see Laerke running through. If you want to grab a bucket and try to dump it on her.
If I can use my cunning instead of quick when calculating initiative and defense, can I use my cunning in this instance?
This isn't initiative or defense. This is just throwing a bucket of water on your friend.
Oh, that's a big pile of... Girl, you run through and like 3 seconds later, water sloshes on the steps behind you.
So, Laerke, you enter into this building, and this one is definitely significantly more engulfed in flames as you're charging through. I mean, you're basically having to run straight through a wall of fire to burst into this area. Go ahead, and I will have you give me a... Give me just a straight defense roll on this here. See how well your armor can hold up against the flames here as you're running through.
I roll a d20 for that?
Correct, yep.
Okay. I guess I'm rolling it against. I got a 8. My defense is 13. I got an 18. And then my protection is 1d8 plus 1. Do I roll that?
So yeah, go ahead and roll your 1d8 plus 1 here to roll against the flames here.
Okay. But I got an 18 on my roll out of 13. 13's my defense. I don't know if that's also...
never mind, you failed that then. So yeah,
okay.
As you're running through the wall of flames, you begin to just feel this intense heat all up your back. As you can tell that your entire back is caught on fire at this point.
It's chill. We good. Go find this child. Give me the hits. Give me the hits, GM. Give me the hits.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with you just take 3 points of burning damage as your back is lit on fire.
It's okay. I can do something about this.
And I mean, as long as you keep that on, it's just gonna keep burning away. So
my armor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I mean, I'll pull off my cloak. But I'm still looking for the kid. Do I see?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So you're pulling your cloak off. Okay, perfect. So you still take 3 points of burning damage for that initial part, but if you're pulling off your burning clothes, then you're okay at this point.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, so you're kind of in this small area. Now I need a vigilance check from you as well, as you're just surrounded by flames and this thick black smoke here.
Vigilance, 10 out of 10.
Okay. So as you're kind of like trying to gauge where you're at in this home, you kind of find a wall that's slightly open. You put your hand on it, and you kind of follow it to the corner, and you see a staircase heading up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go up. Do I hear any? So I still haven't seen a child anywhere.
Correct.
Okay, I'll head up the stairs.
Okay.
And at this point, if there is a kid up there and they are seeing me come up, they're gonna see something pretty scary because I took off my cloak and my hood, and so all they're gonna see is like my mask, right? And then a whole fuck ton of feathers everywhere. And they're probably singed and smoking. So I feel bad, but
flaming creepy bird person coming up the stairs for you. All right. Keen and Nrobso, any actions from the two of you at this point?
Okay, so just as a note, are there still any buildings that nobody has checked?
No, from what you can see, it was only the two that were on either side of this alleyway that had caught on fire. Luckily, the city watch, they've gotten the one on the left-hand side pretty well under control. And you saw Laerke run to the right side in one. So there are buildings that are, a little bit farther down the block, but they don't appear to have been touched by the flames yet.
Okay. yet, you said. But they will be.
Potentially, if it's not controlled in time. Like you said, you're confident the building on the left-hand side was probably going to be just fine. The one that Laerke's currently in could be a different story. It could spread farther from that building.
Okay, I'm going to try and use some more efforts. I'm going to try, is there like anything I can do to maximize the efforts to put that specific house out?
Let's go ahead and give me a cunning check as you're trying to strategize how to use the water and the blankets and Aggie's random foil that she brought over.
You said cunning?
Cunning, correct.
Look,
6
I'm
out of 10.
trying, okay?
6 out of 10, Keen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'll say that you're definitely able to kind of see what the watch is doing with their blankets, and you've got your water as well. And you kind of begin just grabbing different elements and very quickly smothering out as much of this flame as you can. You make
and the whole time, I'm like cursing under my breath. I gotta learn more magic for this kind of stuff.
Fair enough. Nrobso, anything from you at this time?
I'm checking around to see if I can find like any causes or culprits or anything that that we can see that was the start of this all.
Oh, don't worry,
again,
you'll
like,
find out in just a few minutes.
because they knew. I just want to make sure the area isn't like, maybe there's another suspect, or maybe there's someone that could be apprehended, or pots, perhaps, if there was such a thing that caused this.
Give me a vigilance check as you're investigating the area.
2 for 12.
2 for 12. Okay. Looking about, I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's about a dozen broken oil lanterns laid in these just smoldering bodies down this alleyway. I mean, looking about, that's really the only obvious thing that you see. You've got all the individuals who are over in the sick line waiting to try to get into the house itself, but none of them were near where this fire started.
And all of the bodies, they're roasted marshmallows by now. They're just completely charred.
Oh yeah, they are gone.
Was there anything that didn't burn? Like any insignias or anything that kind of labeled if it belongs to a certain group or anything?
Yeah, so as you're kind of digging through the ashes, you do find one very scorched robe, but as you're kind of trying to wipe away some of the soot on it, you can make out the symbol of a sun sinking into the ground. The same symbol as the Church of Prius.
I will take the cloth, wrap it back up so that I am not touching it, and I put it in my pocket.
Okay. Excellent. Upstairs, Laerke, you do find a small Ambrian human, kind of like trying to hunker down underneath his bed. He just tears streaming down his face as he's just coughing and screaming and kicking and just trying to make as much noise as he can. What do? You did.
Is the bed on fire?
It is not on fire currently.
Okay. So I'd like to do two things. I'd like to run over. Kid's probably, I mean, obviously he's freaking out, but I'm going to pull him out from under the bed. I'm going to take the blanket off of the bed and wrap his head in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's another blanket, I'm going to grab that and throw it over myself. And is there a window nearby?
There is the window that the first individual had jumped out of.
Okay. I'm going to run over to the window with my child bundle and the other blanket over my body. And is there a way to climb out onto like a ledge or anything, or is it just a straight drop down?
It appears to just be a straight drop.
We jump in. Crash.
Through the
Got
window.
the kid.
Okay.
Is there any, actually before I do that, is there anyone in the alley below?
From where you're jumping out? No, there's not.
There's no one.
Correct. So the window that you'd be jumping out would be facing the main street, not the alleyway itself.
So, but there are people out there, is what I'm asking. Somebody can
Oh,
see
yeah.
me
Oh,
come
yeah,
out the window. Okay, yes, then I am just jumping out the window.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and give me a strong check here to see how well your legs can hold up as you land down here.
13 out of 15.
Oh yeah, easy enough. I mean, you freaking superhero land that shit.
Tree trunks, babe.
Your legs hold up just fine. And
yeah, as soon as I land out there, I'm going to hand the child. I'm going to hand it, like, have one hand kind of holding the bed sheet around my body and my head, and hand the child to somebody, and I'm gonna dip because I don't want anyone to see me.
that's fair.
I have
that's
the
fair.
bed sheet over myself, but I need to get out somewhere where I can be away from people. So I'm gonna run.
Give me a discreet check if you would.
Oh, 7 out of 14.
7 out of 14. Excellent. So yeah, you take that blanket and you just.
Oh, no. Backwards. 14 out of 7.
Okay. Never mind. Try to disappear
it was
into the
bad.
shadows.
I was gonna say, wow, you've got
like,
such
no,
a high
not
discreet for.
Big scary bird woman, not discreet.
You see quite a few individuals who just kind of stop and look in your direction as they're seeing this very interesting form of this large bird creature now, trying to cover themselves with a blanket as they're kind of maneuvering towards the alleyways and into the shadows. None of them say anything to you, as a lot of them also just witnessed you jump out a window with a child. So take that for what you will.
It's good. No, we're good.
You have completely changed their perceptions of bird people in this moment.
Join the flock.
So another 15-20 minutes go by. More town watch begins showing up, smothering out these two buildings. By the time it all kind of wraps up, there's not much left of either of these buildings, just nothing but black smoldering wood, burnt clothing. I mean, these places are just absolutely annihilated that are on either side of this alleyway.
Are there any dead bodies from inside the buildings?
Would you like to dig through the smoldering piles of buildings?
Aggie would be taking care of injured. Aggie would be taking care of the dude who broke both of his legs jumping out the house, and anybody else who broke things jumping out of houses, as well as taking care of burns and stuff. But like, I assume that would be really close by. And like, her attention would 100%, as soon as she saw people going into those buildings to like check, rummage, do whatever they need to do, Aggie is 100% keeping an eye out for any dead bodies coming out of those buildings.
Yeah, and I will say that you do see some of the town watch as they're kind of rummaging through. They do pull out two individuals who are wrapped up in cloth.
Aggie gets down to she bottles it up and works harder.
All right. And as we let all this settle here, we're going to go ahead and jump to a quick break. So thank you all so much for sticking with us through this first chaotic as fuck part of this adventure today.
This is not what I want. This is not what I planned.
We will see you all back here in about 10-15 minutes or so. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. And welcome back, everybody. So, for those of you just joining us, our group here just decided to go full arsonist and burn down a couple of buildings.
I didn't mean to. Okay, it was an accident.
No, you're totally good. So, at this time, Aggie, you've patched up the individual who had jumped out of the window. He has been reunited with his son. And where we're currently at, the town watch has put out the fires entirely. You saw 2 wrapped bodies being removed from one of the buildings. And at this point, the panic is being kind of settled down. There's still a few individuals who are kind of waiting outside the mission house, as it looks like a lot of them didn't want to lose their place in line. So they were kind of just standing there. But if you look towards the mission house at this point, the doors are still shut. They have not reopened yet. Any actions from the group at this point?
Leggies. I found
Nrobso, you're back.
Oh, I've been back and I've seen quite a lot has happened. Usually I'm the chaotic one, and it appears some other stuff has happened upon my return.
Well, this should hopefully denote that nothing too exciting has happened to you.
Well, about that, I touched something that I shouldn't have.
I'm sorry, with gloves, right? The gloves that I specifically gave you to touch things with.
Nope, not at all. But not to worry. I was told by Decima, should we gain any corruptions, that we should head to Dareth to hopefully cleanse any type of corruption we may have. And I promise from now on, anything that looks remotely suspicious as far as dark and dangerous, I won't touch.
Well, we're just now arriving at that. You know what? We'll finish this.
Hold on. Besides this last thing that I touched, because it seems very important, and I unravel the Sun Temple insignia. I found this amongst the charred bodies, where the pots and oil is at.
Unsurprising, but horrifyingly disappointing. Thank you, Nrobso. Keep a hold of that. We're going to need it. Unless you want me to carry it.
Secret keeper. No. And I wrap it back up, and I pocket back up. And also, this is my horse cannon. Decima gave it to me.
Why? What a tall horse. Delightful.
He tries to be.
Very well. Well, we're gonna revisit the hand situation as soon as I take care of some other things. Come, we need to make Servola talk to us now.
Okay.
Or would you rather go talk to the guards and show them? Wait, Nrobso, Laerke, Aggie.
Oh, Laerke's gone.
Where's Laerke?
Laerke done dipped.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if you're looking around for Laerke, I feel like Aggie's known Laerke long enough that it's all like Aggie would not be shocked if this had happened and would probably have like an idea as to why. I assume. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Laerke doesn't really tell too many people much about her, but I feel like it's not something you can keep hidden for a very long time over the course of a lot of years spent with somebody in a little caravan.
Yeah, for
but it's probably never been talked about, if that makes sense.
So yeah, Aggie just has like a sense of understanding, and it's like, yeah, and Aggie will just look at Keen and be like, she does this sometimes. She'll be back. Don't worry.
Well, Aggie, Nrobso has found some evidence of who did this. If you don't mind going and talking to the guard about this, I need to go and make Servola talk to me.
Aggie
keep this under wraps, for we don't know of whom we can trust amongst the guards people.
Very well, then keep it.
And-
Come, Nrobso, we have to go get an audience with Sarvola. Yes, Aggie?
She's just when you asked her to go talk to the guards about who did this, she just takes a big deep breath. And,
Very well.
and then she's just doing this. Just sputtering.
Very well. Come.
She'll need a moment later.
All right.
All right.
Keen heading to talk to Sarvola.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's still a large group outside the mission house. The doors are currently shut. Are you just going to try to shove your way through? Or are you going to wait in line?
Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cut off anyone in this line, and I promise that I am not looking for any sort of healing whatsoever. As you saw, there has been a bit of an incident today, and I believe it is of the utmost importance that I talk to Sarvola very, very briefly, and then all things can resume.
Look, lady, we all need to see Sarvola, all right? You can wait like the rest of us.
Would you like more of that kind of thing to happen?
More
Oh,
burning
wait,
buildings?
hold on, ladies. I got this one.
And I unravel the medallion and I go,
Under order of the Templars of the Sun Temple,
and I take off my axe,
make way for my companions and myself.
and I just start like showing the badge and elbowing my way.
And you see these individuals as a couple of them kind of back away, but quite a few of them kind of begin to pack tighter together. No, you're here to kill him.
What?
We know that the Sun Temple doesn't approve of Sarvola's practices. We will not enter.
My goodness.
Aggie's gonna hobble forward, and she's just gonna give a really big sigh, and she's just going to be like, it is so much more complicated than that, unfortunately. Some yes, others no. We're with the ones who don't want to kill him, and we genuinely wish to speak with him because we see the aid he is providing to all of you. And as
I'm not gonna lie. Oh no, you weren't done. I'm sorry.
and as you have seen, we just want to help. Aggie says, having just packed up her kit full of bandages and things as she was rushing and helping people down the street. Right, that's evidence.
So, just for the record, Kinlegelana is screaming internally at every one of her party members right now. Because they absolutely were not supposed to know any of that information about us. So, she's gonna see what happens before she speaks.
You see the crowd all kind of just turn their backs to all of you and begin just pounding on the door. It still hasn't opened up. And as the crowd continues to push harder and harder, the large double wooden door finally opens up. And you can see inside that the building is empty. Everybody give me a vigilance check if you would.
4 for 12.
3 out of 7.
7, okay.
5 out of 11.
Okay, so as you're all looking into this building, kind of peering through the crowds, you can see in the back left-hand corner of this building, another doorway that's slightly open that looks like an exit out of the back of the building.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You see what appears to be an exit in the back left-hand corner of this building. You can assume
Aggie's just gonna
here.
Aggie's just gonna put her hands on her hips and be like, well, see, now that you busted down the door, now none of us get to talk to them.
Guess we'll just have to come back tomorrow. And a lot of people are just like muttering and grumbling under their breath as parts of the crowd begin to kind of disperse. There's definitely a few individuals who are just standing firm right in front of this doorway, still not willing to move.
Aggie is 100% going to start like going through. She's going to haul around. She's going to be like, look, if you have any minor injuries, cuts, wounds, I'm happy to help you with that at the moment. And yeah, she's going to try and help as many people as she can from this line, so that way they don't have to come back tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, walking through, you heal up a couple of people who are injured, but a lot of them look like they're just waiting to maybe get some food or some other supplies here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Around how many are still at the border or at the door?
There's probably still a good 30 or so people. A lot of people come to this house.
Yeah. The ones who are hungry, I'll give money to.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Aggie, let's not waste your coin, because I know how you like to keep track.
And then I take out at least hold on, how much I have left. I take out $20 and I go,
split it amongst yourself and go eat.
And I just like hand out.
Okay. They gladly accept the thaler, and just to expedite this a little bit, a majority of them take this bribe and leave. So leaving the group here inside the mission house,
we
which
do
at this point
first?
has been it looks like slightly evacuated. Of course, there's some basic furnishings in this area. So as you're all left over there, Laerke, you've bounced out. Anything you're doing as you're hiding currently?
I'm going to tie the bed sheet around my neck. I'm going to try to make a makeshift, like, put it on better so that everything is hidden. And it's kind of like, I don't want to join my friends yet because I feel like, I'm going to head to the Aggie's wagon. Okay,
easy enough.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm sure we've got some spare like cloak. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna head to the wagon.
So you begin heading back towards the wagon, which I believe is still back at. Did you take that to the hotel, or is that at the town watch still?
No, I think we moved it to the hotel we were staying. The Rose so place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to check on Tsum Tsum because there's been a lot of fire in her.
Okay, perfect. So you head back to the hotel. Your friend left now in the evacuated mission house. And today, that is where we're going to go ahead and call this adventure. So we'll pick up with the investigations into Servala's disappearance, as well as the individuals who were here to burn this place down next time. So thank you so much to my wonderful, wonderful group of players. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this adventure. Let's go ahead and real quick go back around the table and say who you are and plug yourselves. Anything coming up? Let's start off with Kelsey, please.
Hi guys, I'm Tombs and Tomes on all of my social media. I love making new friends and sharing books and tabletop role-playing games with other people. And thanks for watching.
Awesome. Let's go and throw it to Christine, please.
Hey everybody, I'm Christine. You can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/slumberjane or over on Instagram at slumber.jane.
Wonderful. Let's go over to Royal, please.
Hey everybody, I'm Lee Royal. You can follow me at Royalty No Y on all social medias, and primarily on Twitter and Instagram.
And last but certainly not least, our Skyrim enthusiast. Let's go over to Coral.
Hi friends, my name's Coral Reefer. You can find me hopefully not committing arson over it's not arson if there's no intent. But twitch.tv/queerventure time, plenty of chaos, hopefully does not involve fire. Tonight we have our D&D campaign around 6 PST, and then we're just there hanging out, being funny, queer, and listening to Sirens of LA, the soundscapes.
Perfect.
Soundscapes,
Love it.
friends.
And my name's Nate. You can find me mainly active on Instagram at dungeonmaster_discussions, where I post all kinds of nerdy shit, as well as streaming here with these wonderful folks. From time to time, I'll run a community game with the initiative order, which is totally free for anybody to play. Basically, I just pick a date in the system, and y'all can sign up for free and join me for some games in the future if you want to. However, that's not going to be happening for a little bit, as I do have a couple of projects coming up that I'm super excited for. So I will be a guest dungeon master for a couple different channels within about a month or so. So keep an eye on the socials if you're interested in checking any of that out. Until then, everybody, we will see you all back here in 2 weeks for episode 10. So thank you all so much. And stick around, please, because we are going to go raid one of our good friends, Mr. London Carlisle of Spot Hidden. Absolutely fantastic dude. He's running, I'm not entirely certain what system he's running right now, but he's running something over on his channel. So we're going to go ahead and go give him some love. It's D&D, I've been told by our magical tech guru. So stick around for some D&D over on his channel. And thank you all so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you all in the next adventure. See ya.